For more on this, Bob Carter, Executive Vice President of Sales, Toyota Motor North America, joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us about this new vehicle. How do you see Toyota taking market share within the EV space from giants like Tesla?
Well, Ken, without a doubt, electrification is the future of the automobile business, and one that we've been involved with for almost 25 years with our hybrids, our plug-in hybrids, our successful hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, and now we're re-entering the market with not one, but two all-new BEVs. The first one being the BZ4X for Toyota that will be available here in the U.S. next spring, and then that will be followed up shortly by a second BEV for our Lexus brand, the LFFC concept that you see behind us. Not one powertrain is right for every customer, so we're committed to lowering carbon that's emitted into the atmosphere by offering a portfolio of powertrains, everything from fuel-efficient ICEs and hybrids to the BEVs you see behind me.
So Toyota cut 15% of its production in November due to the ongoing chip shortage. How is the company working now to get past this and improve production?
Well, fortunately, the supply chains are starting to stabilize. September, October production for us here in the U.S. Is our low point. We see steady improvement in November, December, almost but slightly behind the production levels that we had 1 year ago. As we move into 22 in the first quarter, it looks like production and the supply chains will begin to stabilize, barring any further outbreaks at our suppliers of COVID. So our outlook is up at this time.
All right, now Toyota aims to sell 8 million electric and hybrid vehicles by 2030. So given these production issues, do you foresee any factors that could have the company miss this target, or are there strategies in place to ensure that those targets are indeed hit?
Well, in terms of supply chain disruptions, we do believe by early to the mid-22s, many of the disruptions should look better than they do today. However, we agree with the current U.S. task to electrify 50% of new car sales by 2030. But quite frankly, I'm concerned about the rhetoric and some of the proposals that's coming out of our federal government today, whereby eliminating some manufacturers from being eligible for incentives that the tax incentives that the government's offering.
So when it comes to another target that Toyota is trying to hit, it's carbon neutrality in all plants by 2035. So could you tell me the steps the company is taking to reach that goal, and is the company still on target despite these disruptions that the entire auto industry is facing?
Yeah, we believe we're very much on target. We are committed to be a carbon neutral company by somewhere around middle of this century. It first comes from our product, and as I mentioned a little earlier, that's why we're committed to offering a portfolio of low emission and zero emission products, because not all powertrains are right for all consumers. Battery electric vehicles clearly are the future. They have a place, but today where the technology is, they may not meet the needs of every customer. Beyond that, all of our 15 plants throughout North America and here in the U.S., we all have plans to lower the impact and have a carbon neutral, environmental neutral manufacturing base here within North America.
Now, as part of the potential spending bill, the U.S. government would offer $4,500 for union workers building electric vehicles, but notably, Toyota plants are not union. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I really can't put it any other way. It's just bad federal policy. It's bad for the environment, it's bad for consumers, and it's bad for auto workers. We have joined the administration's desire to have 50% of the U.S. fleet being sold in 2030 as zero emissions. Yet this current bill would disqualify over 50% of U.S. built vehicles simply because they aren't manufactured by UAW members. We have a very solid group of team members in our 15 plants. We are very competitive on compensation, competitive on benefits, but we have a culture within this company whereby our team members repeatedly vote down unionization. So it doesn't make sense, and it's frustrating that the federal government would propose policies that if a consumer wanted to buy a Toyota or a Tesla or a Rivian or a Lucid or a Honda, that all of these vehicles that are currently being manufactured in the U.S. by U.S. auto workers would be ineligible for this federal tax credit.
So where do you see the future of the automotive industry as it relates to electric and autonomous vehicles?
Well, they're on two different paths. Clearly, electric is the future. Electric, whether it be electric assisted vehicles such as a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, or a full battery electric, or electric vehicles that's powered by hydrogen. That is clearly our future. But as the technology gets better and better, one of these technologies is not correct for every consumer. So our strategy is let's put out as many low emissions and zero emissions technology for the market, and let the consumer decide what is the best for them.
All right, Bob Carter, Executive Vice President of Sales, Toyota Motors, North America. Bob, thank you so much for joining us, and it looks like a cool car. I appreciate your time.